Namaskaram, I am Sarvesh Karthick. I am a multi-percussionist. First and foremost, I would like to thank Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be the jury member of this year's Jhankriti music competition. Now, I am even more happy to share a few points and suggestions on the playing techniques and practice methods of the Mridangam and Ghatam. The Mridangam and Ghatam are primary South Indian classical instruments. South Indian classical instruments also include the Ganjira and the Morsing. Today I'll be explaining about the Mridangam and Ghatam mainly. Let us start with the Mridangam. This is the Mridangam. Mridangam is primarily made out of jackfruit wood. It's also made out of other different kinds of woods, but jackfruit wood is the most preferred type of wood for Mridangam. The right head is called as Valandalai and the left head is called as Idandalai or Toppi. The right head is the tonal side of the Mridangam. So for students, this is a very important point. It is very important and essential to tune the Mridangam properly to the root note of whatever concert you are accompanying for or whatever concert you are playing for. Whatever is the root note of the singer or the instrumentalist or any instrument you are performing along with, it is important to tune the Mridangam properly. If you notice, this Mridangam is the Kuchi type of Mridangam where thin bamboo sticks are inserted in between the layers of skin for resonance and vibration. Small stone particles are also put inside the layers of the skin. That type of Mridangam is called as Kappi Mridangam. And if you see, this Mridangam is tuned to Sa, that note, and this Mridangam is tuned to Sa, Sa, that note. So you can hear that this Mridangam has a lower pitch and this Mridangam has a higher pitch. How to find out if a Mridangam is low pitched or high pitched? You can find it out using the length of the Mridangam and the diameter of the skin. So the bigger the diameter, the lower the pitch. So this Mridangam has a very large diameter and this one has a smaller diameter. You can compare here. So moving on to the essential practice techniques and the correct methods to produce the sound on the Mridangam. The Mridangam is a Nada Vadyam. So it's important to make the Mridangam sing or reverberate. To make the Mridangam resonate and ring properly, you have to use the right technique. If you observe, when I play, I strike the head and remove my finger immediately to create that kind of a resonance. So this applies to three main circle of the Mridangam, which is the Chapu, Nam and Din. Same applies to the left hand side of the mridangam, where you should play the dum as a open sound. It is important to choose a mridangam which is suitable for you in size and in length. If you see, I have a very broad shoulder, so I have a very big mridangam which is comfortable for me. Also, it is important to have a good posture while you are playing the mridangam, because if you slouch or if you don't have your legs properly, you can't play for a extended period of time. So it is important to maintain a erect back and proper posture for playing the mridangam. Why I am emphasizing on the size of the mridangam is that whatever the size of the mridangam is, that much comfort you will have. It is like selecting the perfect size of shirt. If the shirt is small for you, it will be very tight and uncomfortable. If it is too loose, it will also feel uncomfortable. So if a mridangam is very small, it will not be comfortable. If it is too big, it will not be comfortable that time also. So it is proper to select the proper size or proper length of mridangam for your requirements. And it is always a great thing to have a pleasant and smiling face while you perform. And if you notice, I am having a small riser like ring here to lift the mridangam for giving the perfect height for me. You can also follow the same technique if that works for you. Now let's move on to the ghatam. This is the ghatam. This is also a very essential percussion instrument used in South Indian classical music. This instrument is a very humble and simple instrument made out of clay. So you can ask, what is the difference between the ghatam and any other earthen pot which is usually used for storing water? This is made out of very dense clay and it is patted evenly all around to create the perfect tone and pitch across all sides of the ghatam. So if you notice here, wherever I tap, it is having the same pitch. So ghatam players must be very careful in selecting proper ghatams which are tuned all around properly. Whatever pitch the ghatam is in is decided only after the ghatam is baked and made into a proper pot. Usually we can find out or guess the shruti of the ghatam by seeing the diameter of the mouth and the size of the ghatam and the thickness. The more thick the ghatam is, the higher the pitch, and the more smaller the diameter or smaller the size the ghatam is, higher the pitch. So if you notice, this is the pitch of this ghatam. This ghatam is a bigger ghatam with a bigger mouth. So this ghatam is tuned to that pitch. And this ghatam has a higher pitch. So this is how you find out the pitch of the ghatam. And for playing the ghatam, you also should follow the same technique that I had mentioned for the mridangam. It is very important to have a erect back while playing the ghatam, because if you slouch over a period of time, you will feel very tired and your back will start aching. So it is always good to have a erect back. And a few small techniques that you can use while playing the ghatam is the usage of the legs and the movement to create the perfect motion or the perfect movement for playing the ghatam patterns. Like if you notice, I'm using my leg and its heel to push the ghatam towards me, and if I put it down, the ghatam goes back to the original position. So while using my leg, I am keeping my back straight and I am not straining myself at all. So this makes me perform easily and comfortably for a longer period of time. This usage of the leg and all the other techniques is because we can't determine the size of the ghatam, because like I mentioned, the smaller the size, the higher the pitch, the bigger the size, the lower the pitch. So mridangam, we can at least ask the mridangam maker to make us the mridangam in a proper length, like 24 inches or 22 inches or 26 inches, and get it done. But ghatam is naturally formed, so we cannot get comfortable sizes for all shrutis. So in that case, we are using small techniques like this to facilitate our playing better. All these techniques and methods not only apply to the mridangam and ghatam. Today I have explained only about the mridangam and ghatam, but similar techniques and proper practice methods are important for any instrument. It can be the tabla or pakhwaj or mridangam or ghatam or ganjira or morsing or dholak or dhol or djembe or conga or bongos, any percussion instrument. It is important to follow the proper technique and practice method to create the perfect sound. The fundamental structure for any percussion instrument is the rhythm and tala. So it is important to learn the art of vocal percussion also to create even more grip and strength in our performance. So the more we recite and we put the talam and we try to get the lessons and the rhythm right, the more easily we can reproduce in the mridangam music the proper fingering techniques and methods. So this applies for all percussion instruments. While accompanying for songs, it is important to concentrate on something called as sarvalagu. What is sarvalagu? Sarvalagu is the rhythmic pattern for any number. Usually the sarvalagu is recited as takadimi takajunu takadimi takajunu takadimi takajunu takadimi takajunu. This is a sarvalagu in the number of 4 or 8. If I say sarvalagu in 5, takatakita 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 takatakita. If I say sarvalagu in 3, takita 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 takita, or I can double it and say 6, takita 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 takita. All these are different forms of sarvalagu. Sarvalagu is nothing but saying the same number of aksharas or same number of syllables as the same number of matras in the talam. Matras are the subdivisions or subnotes in each beat of the talam. So if I say takadimi takajunu takadimi takajunu, the talam is going in 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. That is sarvalagu. So the sarvalagu aspect is very important while you are performing for songs, because the Sarvalagu provides the fundamental root rhythm of any song, and it also creates the enjoyable and elevating groove which makes everybody nod their heads, clap their hands, and tap their feet. These are all small techniques and methods that I have shared along with you. There are many more techniques and methods which you yourself can find out through practice, and you also can learn from your own gurus, and by listening to a lot of great masters and great instrumental players who have performed these instruments. Nowadays you have a lot of source and a lot of informative videos and informative audios are available on YouTube, Spotify, and all other different platforms. So by listening to these different audios or seeing the other artists perform, and also mainly attending live concerts, by observing what happens in live concerts, you can develop and improve your skill in playing any instrument. So once again, I thank you, and I thank everyone from Art of Living and Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share small suggestions and points which I knew. I hope it was very helpful for you, and all the best and good luck to all the participants of Jhankriti. Hope you all perform and have a great performing career. Namaskaram.